Midnight on Magic Treehouse, midnight on a moon. High jump. Who's that? Said Jack. I don't know, said Annie. But we'll soon find out. She started waving. No, said Jack. He grabbed her arm. No, said Jack. That's so funny. Let's go back to the base before she gets here. Why, said Annie. We don't know who he is, said Jack. We don't know if he's friendly or mean or what. But we can't go back, said Annie. We haven't found the fourth ending. We won't able to go home. It doesn't matter. We can lock the door at the moon base until he goes away, said Jack. When we can get new air tanks. Jack hurried to the moon buggy. Come on. He jumped on the driver's seat and gave a little wave to the dot in the sky. He climbed in the moon buggy. Careful, said Annie. They bumped over the rocks. As Jack turned the buggy around, they zoomed toward the path. Jack steered around craters and rocks. More than once the buggy nearly tripped over. Whoa, slow down, said Annie. They're almost at the mountain pass. Suddenly a cloud of dust blew up in front of them. The ground tumbled. Watch out! Watch it! cried Annie. Jack couldn't see a thing. He stepped on the brake. The buggy stirred to a stop. The dust settled. The giant rock had fallen into a narrow path. It was stuck between two walls of rocks. They were trapped. Jack quickly found a picture of giant rock in a moon book. He read aloud. Rocks our size crash into the moon from outer space. These rocks are called meteors. We're lucky that the meteor didn't land on us, said Jack. Yeah, I guess it's too big to be the end thing. And she climbed out the moon buggy and then on a meteor. It had more twice as tall as she was. Jack looked at the black sky. The flying thing was nowhere to sight yet. We'll have to jump over it. Annie said, Jump? I don't think so. It's too high. I'm going to try anyway, said Annie. But Annie already backing up. 1, 2, 3, go, she shouted. She took giant leaps, stepped toward the meteor and got close to the rock. Then pushed off the ground. She flew through space and disappeared behind the meteor. Annie, Jack called. There's no answer. Oh, brother, Jack said. He backed up and took off toward the rock. He jumped as high as he could. Then he was flying through space. Jack hit the ground and fell face down into the dust. Jack tried to stand. His suit was too bulky. He tried to roll over, but his suit was made even possible. Oh no, he groaned. Not again. Are you here? Asked Annie. Did you make it? Yes, Jack was relieved to hear her voice, but he couldn't turn his head to see her. He only could hear her over the radio. Can you help me up? He asked. Nope, said Annie. Why not? I fell down too, she said. Oh, brother, Jack sighed. Now we are really in trouble. He tried to stand up again and fall. Can you see anything? He asked. Just the sky, said Annie. Well, is it weird? I'm worried about our air tanks. said Jack. I feel it had been 2 hours. Jack, said Annie. What about that moon man? Said Jack. Where did he go, Jack? Whispered Annie. What? He's here, she said. The moon man is here. What? He's standing above me. Jack's heart nearly stopped. He could hear Annie talking. Hi, she said. We come to peace. And there was a silence. Then Jack heard Annie say, Thank you. I have to help my brother up now. A moment later, Annie rolled Jack into his back. She grabbed his hand and pulled him out. Thanks, said Jack once he was standing the moon. Standing the moon man was a few feet away. His face was hidden, melted visor. He looked like a spaceman, a huge spaceman with giant tanks on his back. It was big as a refrigerator. It's a jetpack, said Jack. I have never seen a picture like a future astronaut flying with those things. It's a spaceship, right? The moonman didn't answer. I don't think he could hear us, said Annie. He's not hooked up to our radio. All right, said Jack. I'll write him a message. Good idea, said Jack. Jack pulled out his notebook and pencil. He wrote. Jack handed the notebook to his pencil to the moon man. They looked tiny in his big hands. The moon man looked down at the messages. He looked at the tiny pencil. Then he turned the notebook over. Jack and Annie watched as the moon man put the pencil to the paper. He was writing something very carefully. Then he gave the notebook back to Jack. Jack and Annie stared at the mark. Stars, said Annie. He drew stars. Maybe a space map, said Jack. Space map, said Annie. Hey, Jack, map start with M. Oh, wow, said Jack. This must be the fourth M thing. Let's ask him what his map means, said Annie. She turned around. We never know how, she said. Why, Jack looked up from the map. That's why, Annie pointed. The moon man was flying over the mountain. Thanks, Annie cried. One star to another. Who was that guy? Said Jack. Who does his map means? I don't know, said Annie, but let's see if it works. Jack took a deep breath. Yeah, we better hurry up. I think I'm running out of air. It feels harder to breathe. For me too, said Annie. Go slow. Don't breathe too much, said Jack. He and Annie took a long floating step toward the moon base. Jack held his breath as if he were underwater. By the time they got to the white dome, he was ready to burst. Annie pushed the button beside a huge door. The slide opened. They buried into the airlock. The door closed behind and the door into the hallway opened. Jack opened the visor of his helmet. He took a long deep breath and let it out. Take it out of these suits, said Annie. Good idea. Jack was dying to free his arm and leg as they moved clumsily in the spacesuit storeroom. Jack felt heavy again. He and Annie locked each other, helmet, glove, and boot, and pulled everything off. They stepped off their bulky suit. Whew, said Jack. Jack said. He took off his glasses and rubbed his eyes. It was great to be free when it no longer felt as light as a feather. Hurry, Peanut's waiting, said Annie. She led the way down the steps to the bright lighting chamber. Yay, she said softly. Jack was relieved to see the treehouse still there. They would be heading home. He couldn't wait. Jack and Annie crawled through the treehouse. We're back, Peanut, said Annie. Squeak. Peanut ran to the letter M. We miss you, said Annie. She patted the mouse head. When we met a moon man. Sorry, Peanut, but you have to move, said Jack. You have to put a map on the M and gently lift the mouse off the M. Jack tore the star map out of his notebook. He placed it on the M next to the mammoth bone, the mango and the moonstone. He sighed. They set back on his heels. Hand me the Pennsylvania book, he said. They needed the Pennsylvania book to get back home. Suddenly, Jack turned and looked at Annie. It's not working, Jack, she said. This book not here. What was the map the wrong thing? Look around the treehouse. It's definitely not here, said Annie. Oh no, Jack heart sank. He picked up the star map and stared at it. Squeak, squeak. Peanut jumped out of Annie's arm and scurried back to letter M. I have an idea, said Jack. He reached into his pack and got out his pencil. What are you doing, said Annie. Do you know how to draw a collision, said Jack. You connect all the stars. What happens if we try that? He drew a line from one star to another. He kept drawing until all the stars were connected. Let me see, said Annie. Jack held the paper so they both could study it. It looks like a mouse, said Annie. Yeah, said Jack. Is there such a thing as a mouse collection, said Anne. I don't think so. And Jack looked at Peanut. She was standing at him. Oh wow, Jack whispered. I think I know what the fourth thing is. Jack ruined me too. It's a mouse, they said together. Squeak, squeak. Maybe the spell is moonstone, mango, mammoth bone, mouse, said Annie. Jack touched each thing in turn as he whispered, moonstone, mango, mammoth bone, mouse. Let's say it over and over and see what happens, said Annie. Together they chanted, moonstone, mango, mammoth bone, mouse, moonstone, mango, mammoth bone, mouse. Suddenly a bright light filled the treehouse. The light got brighter and brighter and brighter. The brightness was blinding and wearing. The air spun with brightness. Then everything was clear. Peanut the mouse was gone. And Morgan face stood before Jack and Annie. Morgan.